Oh, good. I'm not dying. Let's talk about the game.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
So by rule, the game is over.
The Lions Hangover.
Welcome to the Detroit Lions Hangover podcast, everybody. I am Brad. Find me on all of those social medias. Also find me on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It was kind of a nail-biter after it should not have been. The Lions jumped out to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter. Let's break it down. I took notes today, not just going off of stats. We'll get to the stats because, you know, I'm post-game. But I also took notes today. So, Lions versus the Saints. The very first play, the Lions get the ball. It starts off with a Jared Goff fumble, but does it because there's actually a false start. But I have to say, when you saw that first fumble by Jared Goff today, what was going through your head? Were you thinking, not again? Like, we can't go through another 3 turnover performance by Jared Goff. And honestly, the first 15 seconds you thought that might be happening. However, in a weird way, the Lions get lucky and it was a false start by Jared Goff. And, in a way, that was the better option too. I mean, even though we recovered the fumble, the better option was we still retained first down with a false start. So let's go with that. And with a little bit of a help of a roughing the passer call, the Lions run the ball 6 out of 7 plays. Montgomery had 5 carries for 23 yards and the touchdown. And Gibbs had 1 carry, a monster carry for 40 yards. And the Lions go up to 7-0 after the Montgomery touchdown. And with that, for the first time since 1936, Mr. Dutch Clark and Ace Gutowski, the Lions have 2 players with 600 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns or more in the same season. So that's quite a streak that's over. That's like 2 years, 93 years, 94 years, some crap like that. That hasn't happened. Coming up on 100 anyway. Actually, my math is way off on that. I'm going to correct it. It's 114 years. The first time in 114. How can that be? No, we're doing this all wrong. I might start over. We're actually just going to do the calculator now. 2023 minus 1936. I should have just said the first time since 1936. My math was way off. I'm usually pretty good at it. 87 years. The first time in 87 years. Now, the Saints, very next play on their first drive, the ball is tipped and the man on the spot, Brian Branch, with the interception, and it was a fantastic just scoop play with one hand, and he pulled it in, and it was a lot like that first game against Kansas City when he had that tipped interception to start his career off. This leads, of course, to a Sam Laporta touchdown, making the game 14-0. Now, Sam Laporta had a huge game. Sam Laporta has now 7 games with at least 5 receptions, 5 or more receptions, and this tied for second most for a rookie tight end has ever produced in NFL history. It also ties the second most by a tight end in franchise history. And I have to do that as well. Sam Laporta just had the single greatest tight end performance in Lions history. He finished the game with 9 targets, 9 receptions, 140 yards, and a touchdown. And don't forget the partridge in a pear tree. He also had 65.7% of the total amount of passing yards for Detroit today. Now, this leads to a strong defensive stand by the Lions, and this leads to a punt and eventually an Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. It's already 21 minutes with 8:15 left in the first quarter. We haven't even gotten to the second quarter scoring yet. And with that catch, St. Brown has passed Mr. Calvin Johnson for 3,071 yards. For the most receiving yards a Lion has had through 3 career seasons. And that's no small feat either, because that's back in the day when, people would call him Stat Padford instead of Matt Stafford. There's lots of garbage time stats when you have to throw the ball because you're trying to make a comeback, but that's not the case here. St. Brown, Mr. Reliable, he just catches everything. The Lions also become the 3rd team since 2000, I can do the math on that one, that's 23 years, to score 21 points in the first 7 minutes of a football game. This leads to another strong defensive stand by the Lions, and Bruce Irvin, welcome to Detroit, baby. He gets his first sack as a Detroit Lion. I thought he had a decent game. I know he's got that personal foul coming up later on that takes Derek Carr out of the game. Finally, the Saints get settled in. Carr has a few big throws, one to Olave, and with 9:08 left in the second quarter, Carr connects with Graham, making the score 21-7. This is Graham's second catch of the season, I believe they said, and it's also his second touchdown of the season. So the Lions closed the second half on a field goal, making it 24-7. The Saints just kneel the ball down because they get the ball after the half, and we are going into the second half with a 17-point lead. Now, the coaches for the Saints obviously give a little rah-rah speech. Everybody's fired up. New Orleans comes out of halftime fired up. They are motivated. A huge throw and a great catch to Olave sets up an easy touchdown for Kamara. It is now 24-14 in favor of the Lions with 10:04 left in the third quarter. Saints continue the momentum on defense and force a 3-and-out on the Lions' next drive. At this point, starting to get a little bit nervous. Lions still have the lead, but it's like we cannot continue to let New Orleans control the ball. We're not in the clear yet. We haven't put this game away. There's still plenty of time left. So what was going to be a runaway blowout is now turning into a little bit of a football game. The Saints continue their momentum on defense and force a 3-and-out on the Lions' next drive. Saints mounting a significant comeback. Kamara breaks the plane, or does he? The refs reverse the call that was originally a touchdown. I just feel like black football pants should be marked illegal. You can't see what's going on under the pile unless you start lighting up the field. You can't see what's going on. So just get rid of black pants in the NFL. No one needs black pants. They look stupid. Everybody looks like they've got skinny legs, I guess. They like wearing the black. It's thinning, as the fat people say. Black and vertical stripes. Those are the clothes to wear if you're fat. Maybe I should listen to that advice. This makes the score 24-21 with 4:34 left in the third quarter. Patterson connects on a field goal at the end of the third quarter, making it 27-21. Very next play, the Saints. There's a fumble by the Saints and recovered by Tracy Walker the third. For the fumble recovery, now momentum is starting to shift to the Lions. This leads to a double-double reverse. No flags this time for Jameson Williams as he does the Superman over the goal line. Man, I'm so happy there was not a flag on Jameson Williams, because I feel like he's had a few big plays in his career where they were called back. I think we talked about that last time. All right, so that makes the score 33-21 with 14:05 left in the game. Now, Romeo Okwara gets on the stat sheet. He gets a sack, making it 3rd and 17 for the Saints. Then Irvin gets to Carr on the next play, and this looks like a fantastic football play, but since the NFL protects their quarterbacks, and probably rightfully so, it was just still awesome to see. Like, the dude wrapped up. It just looked like a perfect tackle, but apparently it was a little bit too rough, and he gets the personal foul. And this gives the Saints 15 yards and, of course, the automatic first down. Carr is also injured on the play. He goes out with a shoulder injury / neck injury / concussion protocol. This brings in Jameis Winston and, of course, what's his nuts? The other guy that runs all the time with the cocky face. Saints try their double-double reverse, and they get stuffed for a loss of 8 yards. Next play is tipped by Brian Branch, and this goes right to Olave, and this sets up the official second touchdown of the day for Alvin Kamara. The score is now 33-28. Lions with 7:30 remaining in the ball game. Montgomery drops a sure first down. Instead, the Lions go 3 and out. This is a nail biter. This is the rise in the blood pressure. This is why I checked it at the beginning of the episode. So the Lions make a decent stand on defense. Saints on 4th down, go for it at the Lions 40 with 2:56 left in the game, and Winston's pass is incomplete. Lions get the ball, and finally, for the first time today, Josh Reynolds catches a ball. Huge catch. The Lions were faced with a 3 and out almost, and Goff, he just scrambled and he gets rid of the ball. It wasn't the most beautiful throw. He had a lot of ugly duck throws today. Some of them were caught, some of them were not. Either way, not the sexiest looking day for Goff, but still statistically solid. And this secures the victory for the Lions. And for the first time since 1962, the Lions move to 9-3, still all alone in the NFC North. The Lions have also set a single season record by producing 325 yards or more for the 12th straight game. Now, let's look at the stats. Jared Goff, he finishes 16 of 25 with 213 yards with 2 touchdowns, sacked 1 time for an 8-yard loss. This gives him a quarterback rating of 117.6. Again, statistically a good day. But does he pass the eyeball test? Not so much. It is a rebound of sorts over the last 2 weeks that they've played, but still definitely room for improvement, I feel, from Jared Goff, and I think he deserves a little bit of flack. Even though we did get the victory, I think he deserves a little bit of flack for how he has played over the last 2 weeks. Jahmyr Gibbs led with yards. He had 8 carries for 60 yards, his longest being 36. David Montgomery, 18 carries for 56 yards with the 1 touchdown. Jamison Williams, 1 carry, 19 yards, and the touchdown. Khalif Raymond also had a reverse. He had 1 carry for 9 yards. Jared Goff, 2 scrambles for a negative 2 yards. Lions overall were 30 carries for 142 yards of rushing offense today. Sam Laporta, he is the star of the show today, though. He had the ball 9 times, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, his longest being 48. Amon-Ra St. Brown, pretty quiet, but he still got a touchdown today. He had 2 receptions for 49 yards. With that touchdown, a 25-yard touchdown. Man, that was beautiful up the middle. Josh Reynolds with his 1 catch. He was targeted 3 times, but that was a critical first catch. Jamison Williams even caught that one over the middle, which I really appreciate. He's starting to get involved with not just the deep game, but with the crossing patterns as well. He had his 1 catch for 11 yards. Brock Wright also had a catch for 8 yards. Donovan Peoples-Jones was once again targeted, but that ball was nowhere near him. I think that was in the end zone, and that was a little bit of a crap play by Jared Goff. Now, Josh Pascal recovered the 1 fumble. Man, I thought it was Tracy Walker. They must have gave it to Pascal. Khalif Raymond also had a fumble, and he recovered it himself. Jack Campbell, who I thought had a fantastic first half, fell off a little bit in the second half, but a good first half. He had 9 total tackles for 4 solo with 2 tackles for loss. Derek Barnes had his back for 9 tackles as well, 3 of those solo with 1 tackle for loss. Tracy Walker had a great day, 7 tackles, 5 solo. Brian Branch, 7 tackles, 3 solos, and of course he had that interception. Jalen Reeves-Maben, man, he had a fantastic game on special teams, and he showed up a little bit on defense as well. So did Malcolm Rodriguez. He had 4 total tackles today, 1 of those being a solo. Now, Aiden Hutchinson had 2 tackles, 2 solo. Where are the sacks at? Mr. Romeo Okwara had the sack, and Bruce Irvin had the sack as well. Riley Patterson was 2 for 2 on the field goals, his longest being 32 yards, and Jack Fox punted 5 times for 254 yards, his longest being a 60-yard catch. I thought he played really well. I'm going to have to add punters to my fantasy league next year. Wouldn't that be amazing? Punters in fantasy football, going to have to do that. So this sets up a matchup with the Chicago Bears, who the Lions just played a couple weeks ago. And as we remember, that was a little bit of a comeback victory. This time we're going to Chicago. It's going to be in December, and it's likely going to be cold. So this leaves a lot for the Lions. They need to clean up their mistakes on defense. Much more solid game today, but their pass defense has got to tighten it up. Not sure that's going to be as much of a problem with Justin Fields next week. Justin Fields, though, as we remember, didn't he get over 100 yards last time we played? He's still a threat. Can the Bears beat us? Sure, the Bears can beat us. Chicago fans are obnoxious, though. I have to throw that in there. Obnoxious Chicago fans. We can't take Chicago lightly, but this should be a Lions victory. I see no reason why the Lions can't pull this one out in Chicago. Of course, it's going to be a little bit tougher. It's going to be cold. It's going to be on the road. The Lions are doing pretty well on the road this year, though. I think, what are they, 5-1, 4-1, something like that on the road this year. So things are looking up. I see the Lions pulling out the victory. I don't think it's going to be a come-from-behind victory. If the Lions get themselves in that situation again where they need to mount a comeback in the last 3 minutes, come from behind for 12 points, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see the Lions doing that again. However, if the Lions can get a strong start and force Justin Fields to throw it, which he can do. He's got a strong arm. He just doesn't have an accurate arm. Not always. It's the decision-making that has haunted Justin Fields, I think. So as long as the Lions can control the turnover game and don't let Justin Fields kill them too much on the ground, I see the Lions getting another victory. I see them moving up to 10-3 on the season. So with that, I think I zipped through it. I hope you guys enjoyed the game as much as I did. I ate a lot of chili, and it's going to be an interesting night tonight, as far as the smells and sounds go. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please rate and subscribe. Please thumbs up videos. Please 5-star the podcast. It helps me out. It helps me grow the show, and I'm just asking you guys to do that as a favor. Hope you guys are having a good day, enjoying the Lions' success, and I will see everybody next week after the Chicago Bears game. Finger guns one more time. That's going to be my new thing. All right. Bye-bye.